in the Titiwangsa Stadium in Kuala Lumpur, but once they got involved, wow, how about that for a first point? Saved perfectly by Putawan, and he sends it back to Rachan, giving Rachan enough space to put a perfect set for Putawan, and that executed to perfection.
A loopy serve by Rachan, and what a block by Putawan. Once again, Putawan early in this match showing both his set of skills.
It's what we mentioned, the fact that he's got those long limbs and he can stretch them out over the top of the net almost. He can almost, without jumping, the net's 1.55 m and his legs are that long, he can almost stand there on his left leg and stretch out the right leg and make the net that bit higher. Let's see what he's like from behind the baseline.
And Myanmar get their first point. A spike by Wunazao.
I like his service, Putawan, even though it didn't get the point. It's a real Tekong-like service from the Regu game, where the ball is tossed up for you and then you hit it from very high because you're in mid-court on the circle that you can see on your screen there. That's where you serve from in the Regu, the three-a-side game, and that's the kind of style that Putawan has got.
4-1.
Rachan Vipan, the Thai captain, get that ball over Putawan.
Similar service from Rachan. He takes a little bit of a run-up, but then delivers a Regu Tekong style service.
And just a reminder for our viewers that after you complete your service, both your feet need to be behind the baseline. So the Tekong has to be very mindful of that. You've got about 3 meters to play around with that, the distance between the baseline and the advertising hoarding. So you can use that area as a Tekong.
Change the ball.
Almost like in tennis, the server decides, no, I don't want this ball, I want a different one.
Point, Myanmar.
Should have stuck with the first one.
I think he was just trying to get it off the net. It was a lot more flatter, angling towards the net, but just got too much of the net there.
5.
Myokwai gets it over. Bifan with the setup, and Putawan gets that spike in and the point for Thailand.
Wasn't a perfect set, which is why you can see Rachan having a bit of a smile. You can see there that Putawan was a little way back, but he's that tall that he can make up the distance between mid-court and the net so easily just by stretching out, as he does again there. And that was perfectly done. The ball came across quite quickly to Putawan, and he didn't try to nod it back straight over the net. He nodded it backwards to Rachan. It's not purely, it's often used to break momentum if someone's on a run of, if one team's on a run of points, but also the fact that Myanmar was struggling, and you have to try to work out, the coach has to try to tell his players what to do, how to counteract the brilliance of Putawan at the net and try and keep him out of there. Another way of doing that is by making a substitution. So it would appear that Shane Wunazao is going off, and Ong Myo Kyo he's already on, and Zhao Min Kant is coming on.
3-9.
Let's see if this change works for Myanmar.
Point, Thailand.
Thailand celebrate that point, and they've moved to 10, the clear 7-point lead.
10-5. 3.
Just inside, just inside. For a moment, Myanmar thought that may have just gone over.
Point. Myanmar.
A lot of court to cover
Four.
when you're playing doubles,
Ten.
when you're defending doubles.
That was a good block.
Point.
And Photo 1. Can't really stop that man machine, can you?
Server.
Block him once and he'll just come right back at you.
11. 4.
Look at that, did not deviate from the straight. Rolled absolutely perfectly.
Point. Myanmar.
That was good by Min Kant.
Looked good since he's come on, served well. Couple of spikes.
Served very well actually, and he's got a different style when compared to his teammates while putting in the serve. Off the net, and Photo 1 not able to save that one, deflects off his foot and goes past the advertising hoarding.
11.
Difficult to get your foot in the right position when it hits the tape and deviates.
You barely have time to react when that happens.
Point.
That's a good one. Min Khan continues to build on the confident start that he got after coming on and replacing Wuna Zhao.
Sunback spike, and he kept it away from the leg of the one, put it onto his body so that it would come off at an awkward angle.
Point. Myanmar.
That was beautifully done. Min Khan showing a range of skills. This time, jumps
11.
and just helps it along.
11-5 suddenly becomes 11-8. Over the net, says Putawan, and they're saying that Min Kant leant over the net to perform that header.
Challenge. Net.
I get the point. So Kant didn't encroach, it turns out. And that's 4 points in a row for Myanmar now. Going to be 11-9 once this ticks round. It was 11-5. Not over as in the player's head was not over the net.
Let the point.
Four points in a row since the substitute came on.
Point again. Ready? Nine.
Thailand had been leading
11.
9-3, 11-5. New complexion on this set.
Putawan deep into his court
Point.
and
Thailand.
gets it powerfully into Myanmar's court.
The advantage of him having the height that he does, he's by the Tekong circle. Almost behind it, and so athletic. Beautiful camera shot as well.
Yes, you spoke about height. It's one of the few times that we see someone get that
Point.
so
Myanmar.
beautifully from the middle of the court rather than near the net.
Because he can take it high, and he's got the height, so he can take it higher, and there's enough of an angle for him to get it over the net and down,
10,
as opposed to being
12.
that far back where you've got to get it up and down.
Point.
It was a powerful one, but it was so powerful that it went past the baseline. Min Khan hasn't done a lot wrong since he's come onto the park.
13-10.
Almost get that spike-like serve in. And Putawan is the Tekong.
Point. Thailand.
That works.
Beautiful block by the youngster, stretching out a long leg and setting up 4 set points for Thailand.
And the pressure is on Myanmar because they've got the serve now. Trailing by 4 points.
Point.
Easily done.
Thailand.
At the Sepak Takraw World Cup and the ISTAF series as well. But here we go, the second set against Myanmar.
Point. Myanmar.
Talked about Tawisak Tongsai earlier, who's on the bench for... Oh, that just clipped the line. On the bench for Thailand as he was in the quadrant. They're quite merciless, the Thais. If they've decided that they're going with a certain lineup, they're not going to give everyone game time just for the sake of it. So it may well be that we don't see Tawisak.
Min Khan, after he blocked that one, a bit of chatter around the net. We saw a lot of that when the women from the two countries faced each other in the final of the quads.
Out.
This time Putowan gets it across.
Myanmar.
That's another point. A good start to this set by Myanmar. They're up 3-0. And again, we just saw Min Khan coming up to the net,
3.
just telling the Thai what he feels. What a rally! It all started with a brilliant serve by Min Khan. The retrieve by Rachan Vipan was equally good.
Over.
And there's the finish. Min Khan deserved to finish that one because he had started the sequence of events with a brilliant serve.
Thailand suddenly in a bit of trouble here. 4-0 down, serving. Oh, they could maybe have left that one as well. But why leave it if you're sure that you can save set and spike? 5 points in a row.
Ready?
Are we going to see Thai coach Supnaluek having to take a timeout?
Number 4.
Maybe a couple more points. Maybe. Wouldn't want to press the panic button so soon.
5. Love.
Meo Kwai with the serve. Save, set and spike. All courtesy one man, and that's Putowan.
Thailand finally on the board.
5.
Putuan it is now. He's had the last 3 touches. It's going to be 4 in a row.
Point.
Wow.
Myanmar.
Min Khan has just injected life into this game. He was very good in the first set, and just after the break, he's just come out looking a lot better.
1.
Wonder what the coach told him.
Could have gone one way or the other with that sunback spike. Oh, and a tape service.
Myanmar.
We were all gushing over Putowan in the first set, but in the second, it's been Min Khan all along.
And if anyone can turn it around, it's Thailand. But the thing is, they've got to score 14 points before Myanmar get merely another 7.
I've really enjoyed the way Min Khan has turned up for the second set. Yes, he was good in the first one, but just the body language, it seems a lot more aggressive, in your face at times as well on the net.
The serving's been wonderful. They've worked out where to serve. Putuan's doing very well. They're firing it basically just below his head. So he's going a long way down, cushioning it, trying to send it backwards so that Rachan can set for him. But it's very difficult to do when the ball comes at your head. You can either just bang it back forwards, but trying to cushion it, send it upwards, take the pace off the ball as well. It's a very difficult skill. 9-1.
9-1. Interesting to see both the Myanmar players standing very close to each other. Putowan gets that onto the net. And can you believe it? Myanmar have surged forward to 10 and Thailand have got the solitary point so far in this second set. What a turnaround for Myanmar. But now it's about finishing.
1.
How do you finish from here? Don't get tentative. Continue to keep that energy and aggression. And Min Kant with that serve.
Point.
And Phutowan. Min Kant again.
Myanmar.
Well, we used to talk about Michael Jordan's airtime when he used to play the NBA. But look at Min Kant here.
11-2.
Thailand absolutely need to win this point on reception of service, and then they need to start winning on their own service. That's been the problem for them in this second set. Myanmar managed to find out a way of serving which
3-11.
won them a few points, stole a few points on service, which you don't expect to get. Thailand now need to come up with some miracles on their own service.
Point. Myanmar.
On the net again.
Ball this.
This time use the sole of his foot.
Ball.
Ricochets off Phutowan and onto his own court.
12-3.
Much along the lines of the men's quadrant four-a-side semi-final, it looks as if Thailand will take the first set, Myanmar the second, and then it's anyone's guess as to who will dominate the third. Thailand were 8-7 down in the third and deciding set when they changed ends, and then ended up winning it 15-12. They find themselves 4-12 adrift here.
Into the net.
Point.
Didn't get that across. I've also got to ask you about the Thai resilience and spirit, because you watch so many tournaments and Thailand just seem to know a way to come back in games, isn't it?
13.
They're not going to come back in this set, I don't think. I think they've already put it behind them. They've already put this one to bed, and they'll be concentrating on the third set.
Point.
Good attempt at blocking that one, but goes off Min Kant and off court.
Ready?
The substitution made in the first set by Myanmar
5,
proving
13.
fruitful so far, because Min Kant has really injected life into this match. Good low header, sets that one up and gets it wide.
Point.
Used the outside of his foot. Thought he'd go for the vacant area.
Ready?
Right idea, wrong execution.
13-6.
He can see where Phutowan's coming and tried to put it away from him.
Point.
So 2 in a row for Thailand. Ratchan has struggled a little bit on service this set,
7-13.
but if anyone can step it up when it's at its most important, it's him.
Point. Myanmar.
The block goes wide, and it's 7 set points for Myanmar.
Ready? Game point. 14-7.
Myokoi serving for this set.
Point.
Myanmar have leveled things here against Thailand. They take.
We will change ends once the leading team gets to 8. So always a psychological battle. Who's going to be in front at the change of ends?
That's where actually Thailand really turned it around in the men's squad, isn't it? Where they were trailing at the changeover in the third set. But once that changeover was done, it felt like a different Thai team turned up. Min Kant gets that spike in, looks towards his Thai opponents. I like this aggression. This is exactly how the Vietnamese women played against the Thai women yesterday in the final. They were just so in your face. Of course, you don't want to cross the line or the net, of course.
Point. Thailand.
Whereas the Thais, Puthawan puts the ball away and then turns around to his coach.
1.
They celebrate amongst themselves. I think we need to see something different from Puthawan on service. He's just putting the ball over. I do like his action, but it's not proving to be very effective. It's enabling Myanmar to save set and spike far too easily. He needs to try something different.
In doubles, since both players have to serve, it's also important for them to have variations in serves, right? And that's blocked by Min Khan. Myanmar get that point, and you can see the energy. We can almost feel it up here in the commentary box. All eyes on court number 1 because Thailand and Malaysia are producing another fantastic contest, and it looks like Thailand have challenged this.
It was a net challenge. I'm not sure how they think either Myanmar.
Headed by Min Khan. Min Khan again, and gets another point off Puthawan. It was into Puthawan's body and goes down onto court. The third set has also started very well for Myanmar.
4.
2 points clear. They've got that 2-point buffer. So regardless of what happens on their own service, even if it goes into the net like that, they're still in the lead. Thailand need to get a point on service. We've been looking at Puthawan's service and saying that it's not really posing any problems for Myanmar. Is he going to try something different? Setting up a little more towards the middle of the court, but still going out wide.
Point. Myanmar.
Got to try something different on service here.
At the moment, Min Khan very dominant around the net as his captain heads back to perform the Tekong duties. Just over, takes the net. That's set up for Min Khan, and he gets another point.
Myanmar.
He angled it towards Rachan Vipan. Myanmar
Ready, players?
taking their lead further.
Three, 6.
I know a call from earlier, but this is where we need to see Tawisak. There he is. He needs to come on here because they need to do something different. Puthawan has not been able to block. He just can't get a decent block in against Min Kant, and his serving's been letting him down a little bit. So for me, Thailand really need to make a change here. I know it's only the group stages, and they think they can afford to drop a game in the group stages and still make the semi-final.
When we talk about doubles, and particularly what are the matchups, it's of course a matchup between Min Kant and Puthawan. If you compare the margins, then Min Kant has surely gotten the better serves in, and which is why Myanmar are in front.
Point. Thailand.
Well, I can see Tawisak warming up. I don't know if it's purely to send out a little message to his coach, or if he's been told to warm up, or maybe he's listening to this on a live stream.
Myanmar.
This time with the header,
Players.
Myanmar are 4 points clear.
Team side.
I've just liked the range of skills that Min Kant has shown, and now there'll be a change of ends.
Huge psychological advantage to change ends with twice as many points as your opponent.
Before.
We've said before, if anyone can overcome deficits, it's Thailand, but you don't want to keep digging yourself a hole. And they really have dug one here.
Point.
A good service by the Myanmar captain. His opposite number unable to keep that in play.
Myanmar has been absolutely dominating.
Point. Myanmar.
The Myanmar domination continues as they move to 10 points. If you were saying they should have got him out earlier, maybe in the second set?
10-4.
Well, you assume that Thailand were going to put the second set behind them and come out all guns blazing in the third.
Point.
And I'd probably have made a change before the change of ends when it was getting away from them, when I think it was around 6-3 in favour of Myanmar.
Ready?
Even just a few
5,
points into the
10.
third and final set, when you can see that Putawan just wasn't getting the services in and wasn't getting the blocks in.
Point.
That's very well done.
Tawisak, a different kind of player. He's left-footed as well, so it means there's something else for Myanmar to have to contend with on
11,
service, even though it's only 1 point in 4.
Point.
Tawisak gets that point, and as you said, he's left-footed, so you'll see different angles created by him on the serve and with those spikes as well on the net.
6-11.
Which is something else to think about, particularly on service, because it's coming at you at a different angle all of a sudden. Obviously, players are... It's not as if there's only one left-footer in the entire world. They will have practiced against left-footers, particularly in the Thai league. Myanmar a little less so, but there's still plenty of left-footers that they play against. But it just
11,
changes you, and even if it
7.
only takes you 2 or 3 points to adapt to it on service, it's still 2 or 3 points that you've lost. But they've just won one there on a tape service, and that is absolute worth its weight in gold for them at the moment. Just as Thailand had won a point on their own
Me, at first glance on the court, and the assistant referee confirms no fault. Myanmar surge ahead. No fault.
Point.
Rachan Vipan though has approached the referee.
Well, if it's already been challenged and looked at on video, then there's not a lot that you're going to be able to...
Point Myanmar.
That looked all right, didn't it?
Seven, 12.
The lefty service of Tawisak into the net. That's the problem as well. He's come in cold. He's just had to wait for about 3 minutes for his next service.
That's the challenge in doubles, isn't it? That a player has been sitting for far too long, has to come on, and he's got to be a tekong.
37.
In doubles, you can of course play around with the others, and you don't have to use your substitute as a tekong. Tawisak gets the point.
Point. Thailand.
That was a well-executed spike on the net.
Yes, in Quadrant and Regu, you have set servers, set tekongs, and you can alternate if you like, but you don't have to. But in doubles, you do.
Wonderful, beautiful, and Min Khan has to be the player of the match, as Myanmar now have got match point.
They've got half a dozen of them.
Match point 40.
The first one is going to come on Min Kant's service, and you wouldn't back against him, putting in a great one, and oh, just long. I think he wanted to go out in a blaze of glory there.
He gave it everything, trying to get that serve in.
I think it's Tawisak setting up to serve, and I think it's actually Rachan who should be serving.
Yes. Myanmar have beaten Thailand in the men's doubles game here. They lost the first set 15-10, made a comeback in the second in a dominant way 15-7, and have taken it home in the third with a margin of 15-9.
Final
It's a huge win for Myanmar.
10-15.
Thailand now are going to have to beat Indonesia if they want to make it through to the semi-finals.
This is the winning moment. It's fitting that it was Min Kant who got it, because he was the man who changed the complexion of the game. Brought in as a substitute early in the first set. The coach sensed that that was the change that was needed for Myanmar, and he was the difference between the two teams.